Well, joining me now is Ilana Lenk, the head of public diplomacy at the Embassy of Israel. Ilana, thank you so much for joining me. Look, just devastating news overnight that the IDF has discovered 40 babies and young children beheaded, their heads cut off. I mean, how can this cruelty have taken place?
Well, Sharri, thank you for having me here today. Definitely the images and the news stories coming out of Israel are horrifying. They continue to come, and we haven't seen pictures like this in many, many years. I have never seen pictures like this in my lifetime. I don't know what kind of cruel animals would slaughter children, would slaughter families, would wipe them off the map, and leave people burnt to death in their homes, in their beds, and it is definitely horrifying to see.
Yeah, I think, any of us, even if you're not Jewish, everyone I've spoken to today is just beyond horrified. The victims, tiny babies shot and decapitated just for being Jewish. I mean, the little body bags that we've seen the images of is beyond the pale. You can't actually comprehend how anyone could behave like that. Ilana, what about your personal connections? You've got friends and family members who are now being called up to serve, to fight for Israel.
That's correct. The IDF has called huge numbers of reserve soldiers to help with this situation, both in the south of Israel and around the country. My cousin is fighting right now in Kfar Aza, so that same kibbutz, the same neighborhood where those bodies have been found overnight. He is there as we speak, and the IDF is working tirelessly in order to protect Israeli civilians.
So when you say he's fighting in one of those kibbutzes, there's still live combat going on there? It's not the case that the terrorists are out of Israel yet?
As of now, the situation is contained, and there are no longer terrorist attacks happening within southern cities. From my understanding, the soldiers are there to contain the situation, and of course are preparing for anything in the near future.
So I think the next step and the question that we're all asking is, how does Israel plan to bring home some of those 160 women, children, families who have been taken hostage?
Well, the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces' main objective is to protect our citizens and retrieve any hostages that have been taken. The Israeli Defense Force has not stopped working for the last 5 days, and of course prior to that, and will not stop until we return all of our Israeli citizens back to our territory.
And is this the priority? So will the plans to completely crush Hamas be put on hold until you have those families, those innocent civilians home? I mean, how do you balance those competing priorities?
Well, the Israeli Defense Force has stated very clearly that its priority going into this is to destroy Hamas's capabilities and to make sure they will no longer be able to attack Israeli civilians. I think they go hand in hand, and Israel will do its very best in order to contain the situation, to fight the fight that we did not start and we did not want, but it is a war that we will win.
Just very quickly before you go, you're living in Australia at the moment. You would have seen the violent, aggressive, horrible protests that were at the Opera House. What's your reaction to that level of anti-Semitism in Sydney, Australia?
Well, seeing those images coming out of Sydney are obviously pretty appalling. The chants that were heard there haven't been heard in a while, and of course we condemn them to the highest of our abilities. I don't know what there is to celebrate. I really don't. To go out to the streets and celebrate the killing, the burning, the murdering of families, children. The pictures are just horrifying, and I would not understand what there is to celebrate. I mean,
absolutely.
Please, I would love to hear it.
Absolutely nothing. Ilana Lenk, thank you very much for your time.